BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the website to teach you how to play banjo and guitar. This week is Mandolin week. We're doing a great old folk song, the Wabash Cannonball. A couple reasons I picked this. One was I've already taught it on the other two instruments. Two, I wanted to teach you more about double stops, which is what we're really going to hone in. And then also I just yesterday lost my great uncle back in Texas, who was a really special guy to me. And he was the first guy that I ever saw play fiddle when I was little bitty. And so he was a big influence on me. He played fiddle and mandolin, and he would play old tunes like this. And so this is kind of in honor and memory of him. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here in a moment, I'll ask you to come over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com. I've got the tabs exactly like I just played it. 3 different speeds of rhythm, MP3 tracks you can download to practice with. And then about a 20-minute lesson where we're going to go through and talk about the advantages of double stops, how to find them, how we know where to put our fingers to find them. We'll learn a low solo, then a high solo. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's jump right into Wabash Cannonball in the key of G. Let's learn a couple breaks to Wabash Cannonball. We're in the key of G. It's a pretty simple song. We're going to learn 2 solos, one down low, and then we're going to jump up an octave. But more than that, we're going to concentrate on using double stops. And double stops is a fiddle player term that they use whenever they're talking about playing 2 strings at once. And you've heard it a lot. They get sounds like this. So we're going to do that. And then one of the reasons why we do that is that it's a very easy way to thicken up our melody. So even if you're playing a simple melody like we're going to do here, you can add these double stops in there and it really beefs it up. But also it's going to work on our left hand accuracy a lot because we're having to move around and put 2 different fingers down very accurately so that we don't get any muffled notes. And so this is a great exercise as well. Now let's go ahead and throw up the first line of tab there, and you'll see these double stops that I'm talking about. We're going to come in on the 3rd beat of measure 2. That first measure and a half is just a counting measure. But whenever we come in, you'll see that we're playing 2 strings at once, and we need to just kind of think about it as playing 1 string, okay? We don't need to be thinking about it as playing through 1 and then going to the next string and playing through it. We're just going to treat these bottom 2 strings. Go ahead and get there with me. 5th fret here, 9th fret down here, and we're just going to go through it like it's 1 string. And what you're going to be tempted to do at first is go on through and maybe hit that A string, but we're going to get better at that. And we want to use our wrist like this, maybe our thumb a little bit, and push just through those 2 strings. And the trick is to be able to do that down, but also get a good clean upstroke. What we're tempted to do a lot of times is play down and just get that bottom string, and then on our up, get the top string so it sounds like this. Whereas we want this. You get that by a little bit of rotation in our pick wrist. Okay? Now, you see these 2 pairs of notes here with these double stops. One of them is going to be our melody note. And then the other note in our double stop is the harmony note for whatever chord we're over. Okay, so we're coming in on a G chord. So all of our harmony notes are going to be one of the 3 notes in a G major triad, just, you know, for this particular arrangement here. And this first few measures is really easy to see because our melody is going to be the bottom note on these double stops. It will change later on in the song where our melody will then flip to the top of the double stop. But if you want to just isolate the melody, let's just play the bottom notes. And it would start on this 9th fret here, coming in on the 3rd beat. Boom, boom. Then we go down to the 7th. 9, 5. So you might want to just work on that, just playing those bottom notes. But the thing is, we're going to have to shift hand positions to get these double stops. Now, what about these other notes that we're going to be playing? Well, the first one that we're going to pair with our melody note is this 5th fret here. Do you know what note that is? It's a G note. Okay, so that makes sense if we're playing over a G chord. We can grab this G note. So we're going to play the melody down beneath it. Okay, and then at the end of measure 3, that G note turns into the melody. Now we're going to move up. We're going to place our index finger on the 5th fret of the A string. You know what note that is? That's a D note. That's one of the notes in the G major chord. So now that's going to serve as our new harmony note while we get our melody note here. Okay. Now we're going to move up again in measure 4. Our melody note moves to this D note. So we're going to grab the next harmony note above it, which is this G note up here. So what the harmony has done, the harmony started on a G note, then jumped up. And that's just jumping up through the notes in a G major chord. So just, again, let me play through measures 2, 3, 4. We'll do it much slower later on. It sounds like this. And you can cut off those notes if you want, make it more bouncy or more legato. But we want to try to be clean, okay? We don't want to be coming into our double stops trying to get there. We want to try to, if you got to slow it down, that's good. But we want both of those notes real clean. Okay, we'll go to measure 5. What is our melody doing here? Our melody note's still going to be on the bottom. So it comes down like that. So we're going to catch harmony notes above them. When we get to measure 6, we change to a C chord. There's our melody note down here. So what am I going to do for a harmony note? Well, I'm going to grab a note that's in our C major chord. So why not grab a C note, which is what we get right here. Okay. Now when we get into measure 7, we go to a D chord. Our melody is going to do this. Let me just play the melody for you. Okay, did you follow that melody? 7, 7, 4, open 2, open 4. So now I'm going to grab notes, whatever I want, above that melody that are in the D major chord. So I'm going to start out by grabbing this F sharp. And that's why I play this D note down here on the 7th fret instead of an open D string, because then it allows me to grab this harmony note. Now our harmony note turns into melody, measure 7. So the last few notes in measure 8, we're using this open A string as our harmony note. It's in the D major chord, right? So let me play 5 through 8. We're still over a D chord in measure 9.